Hello everyone, my name is Kiana and I am part of Group 6 and I will be discussing Chapter 6 from each book as well as my action research article. For Chapter 6 on collaborative action research, I enjoyed that chapter because it was described as a social process, and I liked that because I feel like that is what action research is a social process, and learning from each other, learning as a teacher, as an educator, from other teachers and educators, doing that research with other teachers and educators will ultimately have better, I wouldn't say results, but better chance for good change in the educational system because the research is coming from a teacher. You're doing the research with another teacher, and you're implementing your ways of knowing, kind of your awarenesses of knowing with another teacher, as those four different ways of knowing were presented, and those awarenesses, I enjoyed those because I feel like a lot of good teachers, the best teachers, probably exude every single awareness of knowing of themselves, especially within research and within the classroom. I also liked the forms of inquiry and how the different kinds of collaborative action research there are. I think that it can get kind of messy sometimes, and different personalities would clash if everybody is always doing different kinds of research at the same time. Maybe other personalities would rather work on one research project with another person, or other people would, I would work on mine, you work on yours, we put them together. I liked those concepts discussed in the chapter because I feel like they were realistic to do for any teacher and work with any teacher dependent on their preference of how to implement that research. Now, in Wright's chapter, I really enjoyed that chapter because it addressed so many issues that a lot of teachers don't address. And even though they were tough to talk about, I liked that the eyes of oppression were brought up, and hearing the testimonials of the children and the kids and everyone, hearing all of their testimonials and how they felt. The exercise on writing, getting pieces of paper and writing down stereotypes on the board made it more real, I believe, in the classroom. And I think that's what being a good teacher is about, is more, using that humanistic pedagogy kind of thing that was described within the dialogical approach, and really teaching students how to be inside the classroom, teaching them academically, as well as teaching who they could potentially be outside of the classroom and bettering themselves as people and being more cognizant of how they act to people that are maybe different than them. So I enjoyed that chapter a lot. Now, my action research article was about more of a collaborative kind of method, and it is Action Research for Educational Reform, Remodeling Action Research Themes and Practices in Local Contexts. The reason why I chose it is because there are two authors, and they did their research together within a global sense, looking at different countries like Asia, Russia, and they did their research together, as well as kind of putting two little testimonials of themselves and how they felt about action research in the beginning, which I really liked because it showed that they collaborated on their research themselves, and that was the final product of what they came up with together with the research that they did, which ties to the chapter that we read. So if you guys have a chance to really read through it thoroughly, there's a lot of really good points in there. So yeah, let me know how you feel about it. If it looks like I'm jumping a little bit, it's because I'm using screencast, and every time I mess up, I just have to go back because I don't want to start over. So I apologize if my face is jumping a little. So with that being said, I am going to go into my questions. My questions are, the first one, within the section regarding teachers are constructors of knowledge within those forms of knowing, the topic of awareness, knowing, is presented. And what forms of knowing do you most find important, and do you find least important? I know that they are all very important as a whole to exude all of those forms and awarenesses. But which one do you feel is most important? And my second question is, according to Wright, research has found that to improve students' resiliency and academic achievement, schools should provide students with more opportunities for participation in activities that develop social competencies, such as responsiveness to others and relationship skills. So, my question to you, based on that quote, is what kind of activities could you do with your classroom to promote this kind of idea and help your students with this kind of ideological sense of developing their social competencies and their responsiveness to others while engaging them within different projects? So that is all I have for you guys, and I hope you enjoyed my discussion post, and I look forward to hearing your replies.